Okay, hello everyone. My name is Heidi Ellsworth, and this is Roofers Coffee Shop, RLW, Read, Listen, Watch. A very special one on a Thursday afternoon in this lovely June. We are here to talk about upselling and what perfect timing that is, and even better, how to use technology to do it successfully. So we are going to get started. A few housekeeping. The chat is open, so please let us know who you are, where you're from, your name of your company. We are excited to have you here. And then feel free to make comments, suggestions, thoughts, questions throughout the presentation. We'll be bringing those in as we can, and definitely have time for questions at the end. This is being recorded and will be available on demand within 24 hours. So be sure to share it with your other roofing professionals and family, friends, everyone out there. So let's get started. Like I said, we are going to start with the roof and add the rest. This is about upselling, siding, and really understanding that full exterior and how to bring it all into your business using technology. And we have our experts here from EagleView and AccuLynx to tell us how it's done. So let's get started with that. First of all, I would like to introduce Brady Campbell with EagleView. Brady, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Heidi. Appreciate it. Hello, everybody. My name is Brady Campbell. I run business development at EagleView. My primary role is just about meeting you guys where you're at. So making sure that our data is right there where you need to be in your platform like AccuLynx. So most of my time I spend now is just making sure that we are good and tight with the partners and making sure the data you guys need to do your day-to-day is right at your fingertips.
That's great. Brady, so happy to have you on. I remember when we were both back in the day at EagleView, and so it's just great. Thank you so much.
Great to see you.
Thank you. And Lynn, I'm so excited to have you on today. You and I have worked on so many different projects, so many different things. So please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do with AccuLynx.
Well, thanks, Heidi, and thanks for having me here today. I'm the director of operations for AccuLynx. That operations wears a lot of hats, right? So one of my main duties is helping run the business side of AccuLynx, but also I participate with our partners, right? Whether that's technology partners, integration partners, all these different great people that we have, and one of those would be AccuLynx, and make sure that those partnerships are solid. We're expanding them, and EagleView is one of the best ones we have, and the longest ones we've ever had.
I mean, we were together back in the day on that too, Lynn. So I know. Yes. Well, let's get a little bit of history and perspective on that. Speaking of which, so Brady, can you start us off with, for those few people out there who may not know this, history and a little introduction of EagleView, please?
Absolutely. So as you can tell, EagleView's been around in this industry for quite a while. And most importantly, though, it's not like where we've been, but like how we do it, right? So we actually don't use satellite. We actually use aircraft. And we have about 130 of them that go fly around the country taking pictures or high definition imagery of the entire United States. Now, when I say entire United States, I'm really about the populace, right? Like where is everybody at? And how much more recent can we get that image capture for everybody? So when you look at the difference between just your normal satellite, when you go on Google or Bing.com, you get one view and it's straight down. It's called an orthogonal. And that image is around 13 to 16 inches per pixel. With our camera systems that we have that sits on the belly of the aircraft, it actually is able to go to about 2 to 3 inches per pixel. But in addition to that straight top down, which is the orthogonal, we're actually providing the oblique imagery, kind of like the picture that you see on the left here in the sample, is that we can't just do a perfect roof model just by looking straight down. You actually do need to look at the angles of the house to ensure that we're capturing the pitch and anything else that a typical top down would do. So we produce these highly accurate reports in some of our most busiest days, like we've seen in some of the heavy hail seasons, or even just a hurricane. We can actually turn that faucet on pretty high. And so one of our best days is what about 45,000 reports was sent out in just a 24-hour period. So it's a lot. And if we've actually grown that numbers from a lot from that 15 years ago that when we started sending reports out. Yeah. Obviously, all this stuff is done by the patents and all the image capture that we do. And even the way we actually measure the structure is all really based on these patents. And actually that number is low. We are way over 1 billion images in the library. As you can imagine, our Amazon Web Services bill is pretty high because we have a lot of that high def imagery just sitting in that to make sure we can go and grab the imagery to give you guys a really accurate report for your roof and walls.
Yeah. And Brady, we just had one quick question. How many employees does EagleView have?
Oh boy, I think we just breached the 2,400-ish, so we're about 2,400 employees.
Wow. Impressive. From a startup in 2008. I know. Wow.
Right.
Well, we have a similar success story with AccuLynx. So Lynn, please give us a little bit of the history and information about AccuLynx.
You bet. So AccuLynx was founded roughly about the same time, just I think 1 year before EagleView. And I believe we integrated in 2009 or 2010. I can't remember the exact year, but it's somewhere in that range. But we've been around for a long time. We've always been up in the cloud many times. When softwares were starting back then, they were actually kind of client on your machine, but we started in the cloud. And we've really taken it all the way from a time a lead comes in until the job's closed out. We do everything in the middle, all the way from the basic CRM features to photo and document storage, the estimate, the order, financing, payments, commission checks, the scheduling, communicating back and forth with the crew. It's all built into one software program. So it's just I call it linear velocity is what it creates. You're not ping ponging in and out, going to different softwares. You stay inside of one package. And it does everything that you need. Between AccuLynx and QuickBooks, you can run your entire roofing business.
Wow. So impressive. It's been so great to watch AccuLynx over the years, Lynn, and you guys just bring a service that's so important for the industry. So let's kind of talk about that a little bit. I mean, we are Roofers Coffee Shop, but we know that it's really about the whole exterior of the building. That's what most of our contractors are all in some level or another getting involved with the exteriors. And so there's some challenges there, especially upselling once you've done the roof, upselling to siding. So Brady, let's start with you just to kind of talk about some of those challenges that contractors that you're seeing out there that contractors are having with upselling.
Yeah, absolutely. Heidi, this industry is getting more and more competitive. There are more people getting into it, and even some are getting rolled up into financial institutions. They're literally being bought, and that means that this market is getting highly competitive. And I think that the kind of bows the next question is like, in these current economic conditions, how are we able to perform successfully, right? And what does that mean? How do you define success? And I think that really comes down to how to make your process more efficient, right? And that's where when we start talking about the project delays and the bottlenecks. But the reality is that homeowners are becoming a different buyer, right? They are evolving like very, very fast. And if you're not evolving your business, then you're going to get into some different situations that you anticipated literally 3 years ago, right? Before COVID really hit. And, I don't even need to talk about the interest rate and what it's doing to financing, and it's making it more expensive for homeowners to complete these projects or finance their dream, right? Or make their dream home and what do they want it to be. And so these things are all bubbling up all at the same time. And I think it makes it very complicated for our contractors across the country to basically juggle all these economic features that are happening. But at the same time, the homeowners' expectations are going even faster, right? They want things instant. They want it now. They want it pretty. Why are you like this? Why are you at my front door? Why aren't you at my front door, right? So I think that our installers just need to be able to really see what's happening all at the same time. And I know we'll get into this a little bit later, but start using some more tools to help challenge the challenges.
I agree. And Lynn, I know you're seeing this out there a lot. I mean, customers are moving fast, like what Brady said, and they want everything rapidly. So that's where technology comes in. What are some of the challenges you're seeing?
So I would agree. Customers in today's world, the homeowner, they want one-stop shopping, right? They want somebody that can come in and give them an estimate on everything on their house. But at the same time, they want somebody that can do it right now. They don't want you to come in, take a look at the job and say, okay, I'll get back to you in a week. And then you send it in the mail, a proposal. Those were the days of 2012, 2013, 2015. Nowadays, people are going in and using technology and actually having a roof report or a whole home report before they even go to the job site, right? Before they visit the house. And by the time they leave, they have a signed contract, because they've got all the information they need. They can open up their tablet or they can open up their computer and show the homeowner exactly what they're going to do, because they can put a bid together in literally minutes. And that's with the two technology platforms that we're going to show today. It just makes it so fast and so easy. And the thing that is even more amazing about that is it's accurate. It's much more accurate than saying, yeah, I think that's about 650 a square. Yeah, we should be good with that. You know, you can get right down to how many nails are you going to put in the roof. So it's just very, very predictable. And when it's predictable, it's repeatable, right?
Yep.
And that's the key. So, you know, you're able to really move a lot faster and move more accurately. And it just impresses the homeowners.
And I think when you are taking care of those customers, the homeowners, then you also, by being able to have that EagleView, all the measurements, have everything ahead of time, have it in your CRM, have it, the estimates all working. It also helps with your margins. I mean, that makes such a difference to profitability for contractors. And so it's really, it turns into an opportunity from, yeah, these might be challenges, but it turns into an opportunity. So, you know, Lynn, kind of continue down that road. How can contractors flip those challenges into opportunities by embracing the technology that today's consumers want?
Yeah, so I look at what technology does for the roofing contractor. It's really three things, right? It's communication, organization, and standardization. So when you're moving away from paper, you're moving away from the manila folder and the whiteboards, you're starting to put together a process. So once you create processes, you can automate things, you can have tasks happen, you can send out introductory information to the homeowner about the salesperson, you can contact, you know, adjusters automatically, you can, your suppliers can be contacted automatically. And all of that is just done at the push of a button. All right. So then you get these processes put in place. Now you can start to have people do them the same over and over and over, right? That's kind of the cookie cutter where you start to build this assembly line. And once you can standardize it and you can replicate it and you can scale it, now your business really grows, right? And if you're doing that, you're probably doing it more efficiently than you were when you're doing it with paper. So now you're making more money. And it's not, you know, you don't just make more money because of the volume that you're doing. You're literally making higher margins at the same time. And that's really the key to the systems that are out there today. And I think, you know, one big misnomer that our industry looks at is they call packages like AccuLynx, you know, the CRM. It's really an ERP system. You know, it's the CRM is the small side of it, right? But that's just what everybody has dubbed it. But it's really an ERP system, which is, you know, it's your processes that run your business.
And having those processes in place is so important, because then you really can just start adding other products because you already know your system. And
Absolutely.
so, yeah, Brady, talk a little bit about that with educating the customers and adding on all this other great upsells.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Lynn said it best, right? And when I had a contractor tell me, is like, Brady, it's the devil's not in the details, it's just the dollars are in the details, right? So for you to be more specific and more detailed on your workflows, then you're going to learn that much more profit in a scalable fashion. And the way that contractors are doing that, they're using AccuLynx, right? That's how they're actually being able to not only seek out a new process, but to repeat that process, like Lynn was saying, and making sure that whatever tools you're using are the best in class, right? You as a company, and maybe you're the third generation, maybe you're just 1 year in, but you want to make sure that your homeowners are actually experiencing the best in class process that you're going to deliver, because that brand that's on your chest, it's on the truck, it's at home, right? All of those things matter. So being able to come and show up with digitized tools, an automatic quote with your siding and your roof in place, ready to go, is the direction that the customer wants you to be in, right? And at the end of the day, you spent so much time and money on this customer acquisition cost. You need to show up with everything you possibly can to monetize that opportunity. That's where you're starting to see not only better upselling because you're prepared, but you're actually more efficient in actually driving and executing that project afterwards. And having the data of EagleView inside of AccuLynx, that's what's going to get you there. And that's what makes that process repeatable and more profitable for the end of the year.
And I think we really have to look at the relationships too. I know we talk the technology, the standards, the processes, that is key. That's foundational. You have to have that for success. But when you, Brady, what you just said, you had that acquisition of that lead, you're in the home, you're talking to them, you've built trust and a relationship. That's what consumers want. They don't want to have to now go and look for somebody else to do the siding or somebody else to do the windows. If they can find that one contractor who they totally trust with their exteriors and who has shown that they can do it the right way using
Totally.
technology, I think that makes a huge difference.
Absolutely. And that's what Lynn said. Is that customers are looking for people to show up ready to go, right? They don't have time anymore. Time is this big these days, but you have the opportunity as a contractor to go to this home prepared and with best in class features and products and services. And if you have that opportunity to do that and you spend all that time to get there, absolutely showcase it using the tools we're going to show you in a little bit to get to that next stage in your business.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
I
and
just,
then,
yeah, go
you know,
ahead.
Heidi, I just want to add one thing that, we're talking about the upsell, but it literally going in and doing a roof and then doing that estimate and then adding siding to that. You'll see it when I do the demo, it takes less than a minute. So why wouldn't you show somebody a $15,000 to $18,000 add-on if it takes you a minute, right? It's just so simple.
To someone you've already gained their trust.
Right. And you're sitting there talking with them. You're in front of them already.
Right there.
Already, right there. And I even
Right.
have to think about all those roofs that have already been put on. Going back to those homeowners and being able to upsell them because it's all right there. You already have it all. So we could go on and on about this, but we want to hear about what all of you think and what you're doing. So we would like to do a polling question, and I am going to launch that right now. There are actually 6 questions, and you should see that on your screen right now. For everyone to answer through that. If you're not seeing it, or if there's any problems in my technology, please chat me, but I think we should be good. And these are important because it's really good to know, are you already using a CRM or ERP system? As Lynn said, are you using AccuLynx? How often do you use property reports? Do you source your property reports from within your CRM? Really important. Do you offer siding services? Because we are hearing that a lot, that a lot of contractors are doing that. And also, how long does it take to generate a bidder estimate? But there we're talking about the margins and the profitability, right, gentlemen?
Correct.
Yes.
So, great. It's actually working. I'm pretty excited. So we're just going to see if we can get everybody, to finalize, and a few more seconds here. So if you're finishing up, thank you so much. Yep. There comes another one in. Perfect. You know what, while we wait for those, just the last one, Lynn, I do want to kind of go back to you one more time on how much are you seeing out there with contractors who are doing full exteriors?
Quite often. I mean, it's just to throw a number at it, I would probably guess at least 50% are doing both. That would be my guess. It can be anything. It could be, I would just say, more than one product, right? So it could be, the roof and gutters. It could be roof siding gutters. It could be windows. I mean, especially in the restoration side of it, it just depends on what got damaged, right? So the retail side is probably a little more of just a single product, maybe roof and gutters, but at least 50% of people are adding more than one product.
Yeah. And I think it's being, as we talked about, it's being driven definitely by consumers wanting that. They want that one person. So I'm going to go ahead and end that. Thank you everyone who participated, and we're going to show those results. And so you should be able to see those on your screen right now. We had, are you using a CRM? Yes, but there's also a number of folks who said no. So we'll be able to help you there if you're interested. On AccuLynx, we also had a number of people who are looking for information. How often do you use property reports? More than 50% of the time was definitely the leader there. And then do you source your property reports within your CRM? No. So you guys are going to learn when you see this demo. It's pretty dang cool. And do you offer siding services? Yes. So there we go, Lynn, more than 50%. And then how long does it take to generate a bid or an estimate? And it looks like kind of a tie between 1 week and less than 1 day. So we've got some differences going there. So thank you all for participating in that. So appreciate it. Let's talk a little bit about the ease of estimating now, and we can kind of show you where we're at. So we're going to start here with Brady. Can you just talk a little bit about the different reports that EagleView, because the wall reports have are not new, but some people just don't know about them. And with the number of people we have doing siding here, can you just tell us how they work, what they are?
Yeah, absolutely. So as you can see on the left, everybody, the reports that we provide from all of our aerial capture, we have two. We have one on the top, which is our number one report, is that premium roof report. As you can tell, we're outlining all the critical measurements in that PDF. And below that is our actually enhanced wall report. So like Heidi said, this report's been around for a bit, but we just came in and give a full refresh to it. And I mean, not just like new colors on it. I mean, we're actually separating out the actual material on the siding. So whether it's masonry or siding. So when you guys are actually out there bidding on these siding jobs, you can actually start incorporating the pre-date measurements from the masonry. So if you're removing it or adding it in, anything like that. So we actually get a full refresh. But the whole important part of this is not the PDF and the pretty pictures that you see on these reports. The most important part of this is the XML data. Now that sounds like it's a little bit nerdy, it's a little more computer savvy. It's not. So the reality is that most of you guys actually are not ordering the siding reports inside of the platform, right? So what we're actually showcasing you guys is that you can actually order your EagleView reports within AccuLynx. Now you say, well, what does that differ? Well, there's a couple of reasons. Number one is that we don't want you flip-flopping around between EagleView.com or your phone or whatever. You need to stay in AccuLynx. That's where you should belong, because that's where the workflow is actually created and executed and perfected nonstop, right? So we want you to stay inside of AccuLynx. Number two is that when you actually order that report inside of AccuLynx, the actual raw data comes in and auto-populates all those fields automatically, right? So you're actually not looking at the report and hand keying these in there. And that goes for both the roof and that wall report. That's actually already set up. And Lynn's actually going to take a spin through it in just a little bit, but you actually can go in there and order 123 Main Street and actually go and order that report. And all you have to do is just sync your EagleView account to AccuLynx. And you can do that by just logging in with your email credentials that you have at EagleView, and that will sync the account. And then you can just start ordering directly from AccuLynx without having to hop back and forth between the two.
And just for everyone out there, Brady, I want to make sure when we talk about XML, I think a lot of people do think nerdy, right? What does that mean? But I mean, if you kind of break it down, I know I'm going to make this very generic, but if people out there think of a 3D image, right, where it has every single piece of data, everything right to the so accurate, maybe just talk just about that for a minute, because that has been kind of a secret sauce that people just haven't talked about.
100%. So the most important part is that we don't use satellite. We use actually that aerial imagery. And we actually know exactly where that tip of that gutter or that eave is in both the X, Y, and Z space on the planet Earth, meaning that we actually know how every single inch works on top of that roof and siding and window and door. But once that's actually translated into a proposal or to an estimate, the actual accuracy beyond just going and licking the thumb and saying, I think that's 42 squares, is that we're trying to give you the most accurate proposal based through AccuLynx. We're trying to give you the actual number. We're a third-party verification tool to ensure that you are needing the measurements of exactly what you're trying to bid on. Once you start going into other types of other measurement tools, or even a hand measurement, you're bringing in outside sources that you don't want. And the reality is that the more accurate the measurements are through the XML, the better it is experience within AccuLynx, because then you can actually flow through and do what you're supposed to do, because you don't actually make any money measuring, you actually make money selling. So that's the transition that everyone should start really thinking about, is getting that data through AccuLynx automatically so you can focus on the most important thing, which is the homeowner.
And Lynn, how important is that, I want to say gnats, you know what, but how important is that really good data when it comes into AccuLynx?
It's critical to knowing your cost, right? You really want to know the actual cost of the roof. And I'll give some examples when I go through this estimate. But I mean, you break it down to every single component that goes on the roof, and it's counted out individually, and you'll see like drip edge, you might need, 127 feet. It's literally 127. Now you're going to order 130, but it's right down to the inch, of what you're measuring. And You can adjust waste factors, and it's that detailed. So the key is you're not over purchasing your items, right? And you're not missing anything. When you build a template, that's the roofing system. You have the time to go through it and make sure everything is there. So when you bring the measurements in, now it's just quantities, right? We're just looking for quantities. So really, that's the way I kind of look at it is a template is a roof estimate already made. You just need to know how much goes on that roof. And that's what we get from EagleView. When that data comes in, it just tells us the numbers, and we apply the numbers to the property fields inside of those components.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay, we're going to get to the demo. We have a couple things. So first of all, Brady, and I kind of was definitely was not there, but we did have a question come in and it says, can you provide the definition of an XML?
Well,
I know.
I can't get you like Webster's dictionary, but essentially is that the XML data is going to provide all those line links that Lynn was talking about, the drip edge or the eave, the rakes. All those are actually in a file that any type of software can read and pull out. So when you are ordering your EagleViews, you actually have a PDF that's turned on, an XML, and another one's called a DXF. That's for an AutoCAD thing. It's a little bit separate. But essentially is that once that XML is there, all within that file, essentially it's just text and numbers. The text is outlining exactly what that critical line measurement is, if it's rakes, eaves, start, whatever it may be. And there's a number, which is a length. Now we can go to the decimals all the way through that. But essentially is AccuLynx is going to pull all that raw data, the measurements, and actually point it towards the exact field that it needs to go. So all that raw data that's in there takes it and puts it exactly where it needs to be in the AccuLynx platform.
Right. So XML is just a file type, right? That's what it is. So think of it, a Word doc, right? It's .doc, right? Excel is, it's the same thing. So what that does is the XML, it's a certain type of document. It tells us what the format is for the data that's coming in. And then we parse that data because we know, parse it means we pull it apart and we apply it to where it goes. So when we ingest that, we parse it, we know exactly what the format is, and we're looking for certain fields to go in certain places, and they're labeled properly. So that's in the programming that we do between our developers and the developers with EagleView. That's the integration, right? So we do all that in the background. It's wired together and mapped. So when that file comes in, we know exactly where to put those measurements.
I love it. I love it. So we're going to do the demonstration. It's going to be the whole workflow and how to use the promo code that we all talked about, and a couple other things here. And also, Lynn, as you take over the screen, we did have a question in here. Does the invoice from EagleView come into AccuLynx? So
no, you have an EagleView account, so you're ordering it through AccuLynx, but it gets billed from EagleView, just like you would if you ordered it from their website.
Okay, I'm going to turn this over to you right now, Lynn. Here you go.
Okay. So this is our dashboard. It's where you land when you open up AccuLynx, and you can see the workflow. I'm not really going to go through this. I'm going to cover it real fast and then just jump into a job and do an estimate. But basically the pipeline is the workflow, right? It's every job goes through this process. It comes in as a lead, gets assigned to a salesman, becomes a prospect. This is where we're going to do the estimate in this phase. It gets approved. This is where you actually order the material and build the roof, and then it's completed. And that could be, it's completed but not invoiced yet. And then it moves to invoiced, where it's invoiced but not paid yet. So you can see the number of jobs and the dollars in each one of those buckets. Now, this is a demo account, so don't worry, we don't have $47 million worth of active work going on right now. You'll see some goofy numbers, but like I said, it's a demo account. So if we can jump into an account, and let's say we wanted to create an estimate for this individual, Bill Siebert. So we already know the address. So we're going to go into the measurements tab, and I've already ordered this through EagleView and pulled it in, but I'm going to show you how to do that as well. But here is the whole house report that came through, right? It's got the roof and the siding measurements. But what you would do is you would just hit order. And like I said, we already know the address up here. So it's going to go out to EagleView, and we're doing this in the background. And now it's going to come in. You're going to verify that it's on the right house, but you would come down and just pick what you want, right? So we're going to say we want the roof and wall reports. You can add comments. You can put a coupon code in, and we're going to give you a coupon code today for watching the webinar this is where you would place it in there, and you're going to get one of these free reports, which is the combination roof and wall report. You can do multiple buildings, like I said, comments. So it's that simple. And once you hit verify and send it, it's going to go in the background, order it from EagleView. They're going to produce it, bring it back, and it drops directly into this job. And then we notify you that it's there. So once that's done, I'm going to quit out of this. All you would do then is you would, actually, here's the XML. I should show you this too. If you had the XML file, you could just grab it from the email or from your desktop and drop it in here. There are multiple ways to bring that in. But once that comes in, you're just going to go to the estimate. Again, we're still inside this job, and I'm just going to hit new estimate. And once I do that, it's going to bring up a new estimate. I'm going to say it's a roofing estimate. And we're going to use a template. So templates are the key to estimating accurately and quickly. And it's basically, think of a template as a roofing system. You put together everything that's going to go on that roof, and now you're just waiting for measurements. So we're going to grab one. We are connected with all three of the big suppliers. We're going to grab a certainty that's tied to the SRS catalog. And if you're connected with one of these distributors, what it does is we actually go into their backend database, we grab your negotiated pricing, and we pull that into the items inside your template. So it's a live pricing that's updated every day. So now here's where the magic happens. I'm going to come in here, I'm going to say measurement. I'm going to grab that siding and roof measurement that we grabbed, and it automatically populated that. And when you're doing an estimate that said 1 day or 1 week, right? So these 3 steps that I just did would take me maybe 10 seconds. I hit next, my estimate's done. It's that fast.
Wow.
So now we're going to go in and we're going to tweak it a little bit, because we built a template that allows us to do that. But it literally is that fast with all of your labor and material items in here with the markup that you've predetermined. It's just, and look how detailed it is. It goes right down to OSB, anything you want, vents. So all of these have populated from the pricing sheets, what you built on your system. And then you look at items that are in orange. Orange items are things that you may need, and there's no pricing associated with it because there was no count. So typically OSB, right? Vents, penetrations, things that you might not get from an aerial report. So let's say we want 4 sheets of OSB on this. And then it's going to automatically update the pricing there. We're going to say, you know what? We don't have any box vents. We're going to get rid of those. We're going to come down. We're going to put 4 in the labor category. And you can break this out so you see the labor or don't see the labor. It just depends on how you want to present the proposal to the homeowner. So this is all customizable. All this information up on top, you can put whatever you want in there. You can make it look however you want. And you're not going to show them this, but this is what you get to see when you're building the proposal. You also have controls that allow you to take away what the pricing is. So let's say you don't want your salesman to see what you're paying for your materials. You just want to see, or have them be able to see, what the actual cost for that line item is with labor and material and markup. Then these 2 columns right here would go away. So now we've got our estimate built. Down here, we have a 40% profit margin. Maybe we want to make that 45. It automatically changes the price, but it did not change the cost, right? Because your labor and your materials are constant. When you're changing the margin, you're just changing the gross margin or the gross profit. So you can also use a slider and slide that up and down. You can see those numbers change. Or I could come in here and say, you know what, I want to do this for $20,000 and add that in, and it would adjust everything. Oop, $200,000. Man, we made a lot of money on that one.
Yeah.
That's $20,000. Yeah, good profit. That's how you make money with AccuLynx, right there.
There you go.
So now we've got the roofing estimate done. You know what? We got that combo report. So why not just come down here, add a section. I'm going to go to trades. I'm going to go to siding. I'm going to use a template. I'm going to go to this crane board, pick next, come up here. I'm going to grab my same measurements for that house. Now I just added a siding section. Why would you not go into a homeowner and do an upgrade when you can do it that fast, right?
Yeah.
You just gave yourself the potential to make $19,000 more or $20,000 more. And it took me less than 5 seconds.
Heidi,
So-
I don't know about you, but this isn't even the 80-20 rule. This is like 95-5, right?
Yeah.
Like it's automatic. You have a couple of things you come in, switch, and you're just ready to go.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep. And so, and you can add things, you know, like maybe a dryer vents, maybe we got some blocks that we're going to put in there, and we have no jumbos. So the reason that we put things in there that are in orange also is so you don't forget them. A lot of people will put they'll put outhouses in there. They'll put dumpsters in there. They'll put caulking in there. They'll put paint in there. They'll put OSB. They'll put steep charges in. If it doesn't apply, all you do is click a button and delete it, but it makes you think about it while you're going through the estimate. So your estimates become very, very accurate and you don't miss things. That's how you lose money, right? You missed out on the estimate. You still have to do it.
I mean, you could even have safety. Think about that, you know, because you're going to know the pitch, you're going to know what's going on. Maybe you have to have some extra safety
Sure.
materials. Yeah.
So once we've done that, we can hit preview and now we see the estimate. So this is printable or emailable. It also can be signed on the spot or can be sent and signed digitally through email. So you don't even have to be there to give it to them. But it's going to basically break down all the items. And again, we show the roofing section, $20,000, and the siding section, and just the detail of what we're doing. Now, you could also come in here and add quantities if you wanted to. You could add right down to the line item pricing, which most people don't do. But let's say you had to break a quote out for an adjuster that showed exactly what it was going to be. Right? You could do that, or a homeowner that wanted to see it. Or you could get rid of all of that, like I said, just, and just show the basic description and the amounts.
That's great. Hey, Lynn, I was just thinking about one of the questions that Heidi put out there, or where do you source your reports? Are you able to show the audience kind of where they order their EagleView report?
Yeah, we did that.
Did we already type in the address? I apologize.
Yeah, we did that in the measurement. Yeah, the measurement. That's where you go through and order it.
Perfect. Okay.
I can flip back to that. So let's save this. We're going to call this whole house. So that's a saved estimate. Now we're going to quit. And I'll go back to that real quick. So it's right up here in measurements. We're inside that job already. We go to measurements, hit order EagleView.
And it already has the address.
And there it is. It's already got the address and pulls it in. Yeah.
With the promo code. Thank you.
That's where that was.
Real simple.
Very simple. So we've created the estimate. We've done all the work. We know exactly what's going on in the house. We get the job. So now, if you didn't have a system like this, you've got to go through and somehow write out, print out, do whatever. You have to get an order or a material list to your supplier. Well, you've already done all the work. And when you're tied in with AccuLynx and tied into one of the 3 distributors, ABC, SRS, or Beacon, when we build that estimate right down to the SKU level at that branch. So we already know every single piece that's going on that roof. All we have to do is give it to the supplier. So we would come in here and we would hit new order. We did SRS is who we used on that. We're going to go materials and labor. And when I come in here and say trade type, we're going to say roofing. So roofing order. This is just a branch that we're tied to for the demo. That would be the branch that you're tied to, where you have your account would show up there. And this is why I saved it as a primary estimate, right? So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to say, I want to use the primary estimate to populate my material order. I hit next. I hit roofing section. We're just going to order the roof right now. What did I do? Did I go grab? Hold on a second. Oh, I did not make that my primary estimate. Grab the wrong one.
But it's pretty quick and easy to change up.
Yep.
Yeah.
I thought I did it. I was talking and actually I went and showed the measurement. I didn't save the.
That's my fault.
Yeah.
Yeah. You threw me off my game. Section use template. No template. Where am I at? Order. With that, because that's not what I wanted. New order.
There you go.
Now I'm back where I was. Let's say roofing. Alpharetta. Primary estimate. Roofing.
Oh,
now,
and you
can
have
order
both
right now.
sections.
Yeah, you've got both sections there. We're just going to do the roof right now because we're going to do the siding in 2 weeks. It's a different contractor. So we're not going to order that. Just going to order the roof. We come in and now it's pulling all that information in from the primary estimate. And now it pops up and says, complete this item. You're thinking, all right, Lynn, you told me you didn't have to do any work. Why do I have to do something? Well, there are 2 ways that you can estimate inside of AccuLynx. You can estimate at a top line level or right down to the color level. And our contractors do it both ways. So let's say that you really only sell one type of shingle and there are 3 colors and that's it. Well, you might actually drill it right down to 3 different templates, 1 for each color. Or you could go to the top line of that item and just build one template and then say, I'm going to choose the color once I get the job, because I'm really not even going through the color selection with the homeowner until they say they want to buy the roof, right? That's when we decide the colors and I bring in the samples. So if you do that, then you come in here and it's just sitting at that top line level with the price in it. And it takes the most expensive one for that type of shingle for that color. And then when you hit complete this item, it's going to pull it up and let you select what color you want. And it's going to select the colors that are available in that region.
Wow.
So if you select something in Denver, it will be a
Wow.
different list than if you select something that's a supplier down in Florida, because regionally they might have different products. So these are the products that are available at that particular distributor. So we're just going to say Weatherwood. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to say Weatherwood again. And then I'm going to come down below, and same thing for galvanized drip edge. You can pick a color, or you could have done the estimate right to the color you wanted, whichever way you want to go. But now there are all of my materials that I need on this job. Now, the other thing that makes AccuLynx really, really slick is we're placing an order. What's the second thing that you need to get this job done? You need a labor ticket, right? You need something to give your crew. So if I hit next, now it's going to come in and it's going to give me the labor ticket. It's going to tell my crews exactly what's going on. If I hit next, this is where it's going to be delivered. You're going to confirm that. You're going to put any drop-off instructions for the supplier. You're going to pick a date. So let's say we want that dropped off tomorrow. And we're going to say PM ground drop. If that branch had roof drops, it would show up. If it doesn't have it, it's just going to say ground drop. This is what it's going to confirm it with your company. So it's going to confirm that that delivery is going to happen on that date. And now we're going to pick and schedule a date for the installation. So we're going to say, we're going to drop it on the 16th. We're going to install on the 17th, and we're going to come down. We're going to grab Julian's crew, and that crew is free. If that crew was taken for that day, it would show up red and say they're not available. So you can't double book your crews. And I'll show you a little bit on the scheduler how that can play out in a second here. So I'm going to select this day, hit next. Now it's going to give me one last chance to verify the order. There's my material. There's my labor. And hit finish. And now I would send that off to the supplier, and it would send off to the backend POS system, and they would start to process that. We're going to cancel that. We're not going to do that. So once that's done, you want to go in, and now you want to look at installing the roof, right? So we come up here to production, we go to the scheduler. And if I would have saved that and sent it, it would have dropped it down here in the to be scheduled list down here. And then all I would do is just drag and drop it up on whatever day I want. But I did not save that. So what it's doing though, is it's looking, all these on the left-hand side are crews. Now we don't have this many crews. It's obviously just a demo account, but what you can see is each crew and what they're doing. I can see that DJ's crew, there are 2 deliveries going on for 2 jobs for them. And they have a 2-day installation for this Zachary Martin job. If I want to look at that, I can click on it. I go over here, and now I see the entire labor ticket that's available to send to my crew. The great thing about this also, it's got an app link. This ticket is sent to the crew on their phone. They have this via app, the AccuLynx crew app. And in that app, they get all of this information. They also can send messages back and forth on the job that are stored in the job, and pictures that are stored directly into the job right from that app. So there's no more text strings that are on their own phone. The pictures are not on their own phone. The pictures are actually going directly back into AccuLynx and getting stored in the AccuLynx job file. The other great thing about the app is it translates English to Spanish, right? So if the phone is in Spanish and I'm the production manager and I send out a message to the crew boss and mine's in English, it's going to translate that into Spanish for him. He's going to respond to me in Spanish, and it's going to translate it back to English and store that message, both messages actually, back inside of AccuLynx.
And Lynn, how long has this option been available?
The crew app has been out a year and a half, I think, about a year and a half. I mean, we've had the scheduling board and the production manager for a long time. This is the new, we rebuilt this about 2 years ago. So this is the enhanced version. We had an older version, but this one is much more powerful. I mean, you can grab, if you look at things like this, I could come in here and I could grab multiple jobs. Let's say that this guy got sick and I needed to move those jobs over here. I just rescheduled that for Monday. You can
Nice.
have a rain day and schedule everything, move it one day. I mean, there are a lot of powerful tools inside of here.
Wow. Quick question that they had, Joel has about the AccuLynx. Is it compatible with Apple system?
Yes, I'm running an Apple. I'm on a Mac right now.
There you
So,
go.
and as far as the mobile devices, we have iOS and Android.
Nice.
Yeah, it's agnostic. It doesn't care. And the mobile apps are native to those devices, right? They're native mobile apps to the correct OS system.
That's excellent. We also, Blake asked, does the siding XML include all the opening data? Window tape, finish trim, J channel?
So we have two reports, Blake. One of them is just what we call walls. Essentially, it's just a full wrap of the house. And then their second one is the walls, windows, and doors. And what it does do is it identifies all those penetrations for windows and doors. So it's in the XML. We're going to buy a report, a roof and a wall at the end of this. We're going to send it to you guys via email, but you'll be able to see everything that's in there that helps populate those estimates where Lynn just showed us a moment ago.
That's excellent. Keep the questions coming. These are great questions. Thank you so much. And Lynn, thank you for that demo. I found that awesome. So that is very great. We do have a question on cost. We're going to get to that in just 1 second. We're going to finish this. So Brady, let's bring all this together, right? I mean, this is pretty cool. I have to tell you, Lynn, where you can just like click and siding all comes in there. That type of integrated technology is just amazing.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, Brady,
it's a no-brainer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer.
Lynn just showed it, the whole thing, a full demo in like less than 10 minutes. And what he did was just basically show how much you as an installer can go and upsell every project that you walk into, because the data is literally instantly in your fingertips. And with a few more clicks, there's your proposal, right? How hard was it 10 years ago to do that same type of automation and go out and see those homeowners? And the issue really come back to is that your projects take a lot longer, right? Your sits are a lot longer, your appointments are a lot longer, the projects take longer. But if you're able to compress that project, that opportunity to upsell, that's when the ball starts rolling faster and faster. And the only way that's done is to, one, digitize everything that you have, like Lynn was talking about earlier, and two, integrate the technologies, right? Allow EagleView be based within AccuLynx, order within AccuLynx, so it's automated, it comes right into where you need it to be when you need it, and use AccuLynx from end to end, right? And you saw it, the ability to tail in there after the project was done, because we all know, as soon as we have ink on paper, that's great, but that's when the real work starts to happen, right? That's when the rest of the company takes over, initiates that homeowner integration. So yeah, I can't tell you anymore. I mean, Lynn just literally showed it in 10 minutes, and that's the opportunity you have. As long as you have the data, you can actually go out and upsell these projects, whether it's windows, whether it's siding, hell, if it's solar, whatever it may be. You just have to have the data there for you, and that's between AccuLynx and EagleView. We integrate that data so it's right there at your fingertips.
Right. The key is the automations, right? I mean, you literally can do. I found it kind of funny, the estimate, the questionnaire, right? What's the average time? And people said a week or a day. You should not be talking weeks. You should not be talking days. You should not be talking hours. You should be talking minutes to do this, right? And that's the key. That's that automation, that customization, that organization. And that's how you make money. That's how AccuLynx makes you money. It makes everything so fast that you don't spend all the time that you normally would on it. And also it automates a bunch of things that it can do for you, so you don't even have to do it. So that's the key, and that's technology, and bringing EagleView in there and having the measurements without having to go get them as well. I mean, it's so fast.
Yeah, I think the one thing too we think about is the opportunity cost. What could you be doing else besides actually doing these things by hand, right? And I actually had a roofer tell me the best story. He goes, I stopped being a manager and started to be a leader for my company. And so it allowed him to actually have the opportunity cost to go and lead his company rather than micromanage every single process that needed to take place to actually initiate profit. He wanted to lead his company, so he needed to digitize his tools. He got into AccuLynx and was ordering all this data right through the platform. So it allows him to focus on what's most important, which is the homeowner and of course the employees.
And, we mentioned on this slide, customer communication, but after seeing that demonstration, it's also crew communication, which
Yeah.
leads to customer satisfaction. I mean, just the ability to communicate with accurate data. Lynn, just kind of talk a little bit about that.
So yeah, with the crew, you not only can send over the information on the job like I showed you, but you can send photos, you can send documents, you can share all kinds of things with them. And that's up to you on what you want to share with them. And then there's also the ability to do that with the homeowner, right? We have a customer portal where it's for every job, if you have the customer portal feature in AccuLynx, you can spin up a microsite, which is you'd send a link to the homeowner, they join it. And now they can look at schedule there. They can look at the contract. They can look at any photos that you've put in there. They can make payments. So it's really communication both with the crew and the homeowner.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So we do have a question about cost, and we're going to get to that on the next slide. But we do have a question here that I think is really important, and it's from Miguel. It says, "How do you suggest resolving discrepancies between the report we get and the measurement report that the insurance company has obtained? Usually I've seen discrepancies of roofing squares, 2 to 5 square discrepancy, which of course impacts all the other measurements, i.e. valley, ridge, metals, etc." So Brady, do you want to take that first?
Yeah, I mean, essentially, Miguel, this is one of those situations where most of these carriers are allowed to do what they want, but EagleView has always been kind of like that golden ticket for measurements. So the most important piece is to make sure that they understand that the EagleView report that you purchased is the actual measurements on the roof. Obviously, going out to and meeting the adjuster there and just doing a couple of line lengths check. Do it physically just to showcase it. If they don't believe it, maybe they never heard of EagleView. But the reality is that we do a lot of these. That's all thing we do. That's our business. And actually going out with the adjuster and just doing a couple of checks on it to make sure it's where it should be. Usually that helps a lot just to make sure they're all both on the same page.
And the follow-up question is, does State Farm use EagleView?
Yep, State Farm does use EagleView. I don't know what the rate is on how much they use it compared to what the rest of their adjusters are, but they should be using the same. They should be using the premium roof report.
Yeah.
And if there's a type of discrepancy too, Miguel, obviously call our customer service. We'll get you in touch with the right people to make sure we go and walk this through like hand in hand, no question.
That's what I was just going to say. I know that EagleView has amazing customer service that can help people walk through that. So with any of those discrepancies, and once it's into AccuLynx, I mean, that's taking that data. So again, sharing with insurance adjusters how it's happening within AccuLynx and within the system should also give them, I would hope, a sense of trust and that it's all coming together the right way. So let's just real quick, how to get started. So let's talk we're giving away, or you're giving away, I should say, a free premium roof and wall, windows, doors report, how to use it. So Brady, let's start with you on how can people get these reports and how does it work?
Number one, sign up with AccuLynx. Step one, if you don't have it, sign up with AccuLynx, talk to the team there. They'll get you guys set up and going really quickly. Number two, make sure you have an EagleView account. Doesn't cost you to get an EagleView account. Just got to make sure you got a card on file, obviously like typical. And then you integrate those two accounts. That means those two start talking and that XML data will start skating through. Most important part though, is making sure you order that roof and wall combo with the promo we're going to send you guys. Try it. Okay. Use it on the next opportunity you have, the next sit or appointment to go and do an upsell. Give it an effort, give it a try. EagleView is going to buy that report for you guys. So we want you guys and taste it and see what it's like. It's what it looks like in your guys' process. And once that happens, talk to us more about it. Understand what you guys are trying to do. Our sales team and our customer service team is here to help and support those. If there's any more documentation you guys need, we're here to do that. But like I said, sign up with AccuLynx, get your EagleView account, integrate the two, use the promo code on the next step for you guys so you can go out there and get a chance at a higher bid.
And you will be getting an email with that promo code in it. So grab that promo code. So if you are already an AccuLynx and EagleView customer, easy peasy, use the promo code. You're going to get a free premium roof and wall report. If you are not currently an EagleView user, set up a free account. you can do that, get all that in place. If you're not an AccuLynx user, Lynn, let's talk about that. What's the process for people to, if they want to incorporate AccuLynx and get them and bring it into their business?
It's very easy. So go to AccuLynx.com and then just click the request a demo button, and we'll reach out to you and we'll schedule a time and take you through the entire platform. So what I showed you was just the estimate to order in scheduling. That's maybe 15% of what it does. It does so much more. Then they'll take you through a full demo and show you how to implement that in your business. If you're already an AccuLynx user, but you're not using us and EagleView together and you don't have templates built, reach out to our tech support team. They will get a person scheduled with you on our training staff, and we'll help you build the templates. You don't have to do it on your own. They're easy to build once you learn, but we'll do the first couple with you. All you need is an order or the invoice from a roof that you put on. It's a typical standard roof for you. And we can take those items and we can drop them right in and build a template, and we'll do it for you.
That sounds easy. And hold on to that promo code, because as soon as you're set up, you're going to
Right.
want to
Then
use
you
it.
can go in and drop it inside where it said order.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, roofing and siding. Okay. Lynn, question about cost on AccuLynx.
So user seats, we charge by the user, and it's roughly $100 per user for the seat. We do have add-ons, and those are at additional prices on purpose because some people use them, some people don't. So it's really, if you want that functionality, then you add it on, you pay for it. If you don't want it, then you don't pay for it. So it's roughly $100 per user for the seat license, and then it just depends on the add-ons that you would select after that.
And $100 per month?
Yeah, per month, per user per month. Sorry.
Okay.
Yes.
Make sure that everybody's on the same page there.
Yes.
Very good. And then Brady, costs for the EagleView report.
Yeah, so your typical roofing report is around $45. So if you're going to go out there and just get that premium roof that has all that data in there, it's $45. If you're looking to add on a walls, which is that siding report we just looked at, it's around $100, but you get discounted because you're ordering both at the same time. So you actually get a discounted rate. But depending on which tier you are, so sometimes we have actually different tiers. If you're bronze, silver, gold, or platinum tier, all depends on how much volume actually goes through. A typical pricing conversation, of course. So really that whole home bundle is between about $70 to about $85 for everybody.
Which, when you think about the cost, the time saved by not having to do a site visit up front and going prepared, that's huge.
Opportunity costs, right? The functionality it does within AccuLynx, it sets you up the right way in front of the homeowner, makes you more successful. All these things compound heavier and heavier. And the rate that actually you think about it, the cost of the stuff is about the cost of the bundle, right? And if you can actually just do that, you're going to make it up so much more with the success of the project.
Yes. So, and yes, it was $100 per month per seat. So that was, just to make sure we had a question in there to clarify that.
Per user per month, right?
Yeah,
Correct.
per user per month. And what I would really recommend too is this is just, this gave you a great taste of it. I think this was just a perfect ability to get in and to understand the technology, how it can help you upsell from roofing to siding, or vice versa, siding to roofing. You're going to have the whole house. But please feel free to reach out to the customer service, both at AccuLynx and EagleView. I can tell you they're amazing. They can answer some of these questions. They can help you through if there's any problems with discrepancies like we talked about before. And also you'll be getting an email from EagleView and AccuLynx as a thank you with that promo code. So you can also respond back to that too. Gentlemen, thank you so much for everything today. This was great. I can tell you I learned a lot. So thank you. Brady, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Heidi. Appreciate you with the invite.
Thank you very much. And Lynn, thank you so much.
You're welcome. It was a pleasure being here.
It was great. And Joel, I see you have another question. We will get them. The gentleman will get back with you. So I don't want to run anybody too late, but I do want to make sure that everyone knows that our next RLW will be on the 26th of this month. It is going to be the new color trends report from Sherwin-Williams. I am so excited about this. There is, they have all kinds of technology that goes behind the colors that are trending that is going to help you upsell to homeowners, not only with technology, but with the right color selections. So stay tuned, be sure to register, and we will see you next time on the next RLW from Roofers Coffee Shop. Thank you so much and have a great day.